In dealing with your in-laws, make 3 circles. Small circle, middle circle, big circle. What are you going to put in those circles? I'll tell you. You and your wife, you and husband have to decide. Well, you work it out, inshallah. It takes a few years actually to get everything into place. Maybe some people in the first few months. The small circle on the inside are only for the husband and wife. They are the husband and wife's privacy. You do not say a single word about it to anyone else outside of you and your spouse. Not your mother, not your father, not your siblings, not your cousins, not your friends. This is your privacy. If you want a good household and you want love to increase between you and no problems, brothers and sisters, have your privacy. It's not shared anywhere, not even on social media. The second circle is the middle circle. That second circle is what you will share only with your family, with your parents, and maybe a little circle above, your siblings. Things that involve your family, meaning your parents and your siblings. Is that understood? You do not share it with anyone else. Finally, the large circle is what you share in public. Unfortunately, this day and age, you know the big circle? For many people now, that's become the middle circle through social media. Everything about their private affairs is on social media, ya ammi. Subhanallah. This is why divorce rates are on the rise. This is why conflict and people staying in a toxic marriage is on the rise. Because you share all your private affairs with everybody. Then people come in and get involved. You're the one who invited them. I don't put the blame on people. I put the blame on you if you're one of them. There is a privacy. Once you share it with your mum and dad or your siblings, this is what happens. They start getting involved because you invited them. You need to draw the boundaries. And you need to tell your mother and father, for example, if they ask any questions about your privacy, say, I'm sorry, mum, wallah, I love you. Kiss her on the forehead and say, hey, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden me. I don't want to talk about my family. She gets upset, she gets upset. Just because she got upset, it doesn't mean you have to all leave each other. No, you still come, you laugh, you smile, you kiss, you say, wallah, I love you, mum. It doesn't mean, you still show her goodness, but you don't break, you don't give away. Same with your parents. So brothers and sisters, this is a very important advice. Number 2, this is a bad habit in couples when it comes to their parents and in-laws. They tell their parents and siblings everything. Every time they're upset with each other, they go and tell their sibling. He goes and tells his sister, she goes and tells her sister. They go and tell their mum and dad. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. A husband and wife will have conflicts all the time. And you guys are learning about each other. You'll probably resolve your conflict in 3 nights. But your parents, guess what? For the next year or 2, they're thinking about it. In fact, you would have probably placed an opinion in their head that your wife's a bad woman or her husband's a bad man. Do you understand what happens? Don't talk about everything to them and don't follow everything they tell you. Number 3, living separately. We said that. Live separately to your in-laws. Don't be too close. Trust me on that one. Get your privacy because it lessens your stress. Number 3, this is a very important point. Naming and raising your children. In some cultures, this is my culture, the parents of the son think that they have a right to oblige their son and their daughter-in-law to name their children by their parents, by their grandparents' names. A son, let's say a son has his first son. And he and his wife want to name him, for example, Muhammad. But the husband's father is Ahmed. And they don't want to name Ahmed. So his parents come in and they make a big fight, big conflict, if he doesn't name after his father. I personally have seen many couples divorce and big wars, wallahi, because of this one problem. Where in the din does it say you have to name? Because you love them. Get this out of the way. Love is not shown by naming a child by your name. Love is with treatment. Wallahi, this culture has destroyed a lot of families. And some of them just accept it and they go with it, that's fine. The right of naming the child is for the mother and the father only. No one else. No one else. Wallahi, I know families, the mother, the grandmother or the grandfather, they told all of their son's siblings to cut him off and to hate his wife because he didn't name after his father. Isn't that a major sin? Yes, it is a major sin. Did the Prophet ﷺ name after his father or mother? Did any of the Sahabas grab this and say, name after? No. But then they come, it shows your love. Okay, keep that aside. That's a culture. And anyway, that's the right of the mother and father. Lastly, when in-laws wrongfully involve themselves. Sometimes the husband or the wife don't know to listen to their wife or to listen to their mother, to listen to her husband, to listen to her father. My brothers and sisters, let me give you a formula to how to separate the two. Let's say you're the son and your mother demands something from you. This is how you look at it. If what your mother tells you to do, just give you an example, mother tells you to do, is about you personally, then obey her. For example, she says, son, drink this milk that I made. Yeah, she must have, or drink this sweet that I made, eat it. Obey your mother and eat it, because that's you. Son, help me lift this thing up. Okay. Son, can you take me tomorrow, call the doctor for me, make me an appointment? Yes. But if she tells you to do something that involves something that is shared with your wife, then that is not her right. For example, she says, son, I want you to have your wife pregnant within the next 2 years. I want a grandchild. Wallahi, I've heard some parents that go, if it's not a son, it's not a grandson, I don't want it. Wallahi, I've heard this. If it's not a grandson, I don't want to see it. Yani, how far do you go? That is the right of the son, of the father, of the husband and wife. The mother has no right to do that. He doesn't obey her. Son, let's say the father says, your wife must dress in this way, or she can't come in. That's between the husband and wife. A brother or a sister says, your wife should be working here, not there. That's none of their business. None of their business whatsoever. Let's say the family comes together and they say, listen, we've all made a donation box, everybody's going to take part. All right. The siblings can take part, but their husbands and wives, they don't have to. Nobody has the right to force them and say, why didn't they come in? And if they don't donate and do whatever the family did, they look at them funny. Every time they come in the house, her, him, they're stingy, they don't even take part, they don't love the family. Wallahi, this is haram. This is how you divide people. If you love your children, you love your siblings, get out of their business. Leave them alone. And if they do that to your brother and sister, khalas, have a distance. Have a distance between you and them, because you don't want to destroy your family. Don't cut them off, but have a distance. Even if it means the son just goes and visits his parents, and the wife from time to time. Doesn't matter. Sometimes they say, your wife has to help in the house, the parents' house, just like your sister-in-laws do. Now, if that's a custom and a tradition, it'll be nicer for the wife to help out of her own goodwill, but she's not obliged. And I say to my sisters and brothers, no, help your in-laws. Do good things, because you're building the love anyway. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to a point where it becomes like a force and the wife or the husband, they're tired, they're being oppressed, well, you can back off, you don't have to. And lastly, the cultures and customs, I said it, help each other, inshallah. Finally, brothers and sisters, marriage is about harmony, love, and getting together. Be good to your in-laws. Be good to your brother, your sister-in-laws, your brother-in-laws. Be good to your wife and husband's family. Be good to each other. Do extra to what you can. If there's conflict, you and your wife, you and your husband sit down and talk about it. Say, how are we going to deal with my mother's jealousy? How are we going to deal with my father's stubbornness? How are we going to deal with my sister or my brother? The wife and husband can talk together and come to a mutual agreement. And for example, one last example, I know a couple, they lived back in Lebanon. They lived in the same apartment, the same building, and it's apartments, right? So the parents are at the bottom, and then the siblings are on top in each different apartment. So what happened was, every time the son would come in, he would go up to his wife first, because she's second floor. And his mother would be watching. He's back. He didn't come and say hi to me first. He loves his wife more than me. He had a jealous mother. I think this happens in our societies. So this wife of his, mashallah, she's smart, intelligent. That's the type of woman you should be looking for. A woman who has wisdom and clemency. She sat with her husband and said, listen, I can see what's happening. Let's come and work this out together. I know you love me. He says, well, I love you, but my mother says, I understand. Your mother has authority over you. I'm a mother too. Let's agree on this. She said, whenever you come here, go to your mother first. Sit with her, have a couple of bites if she made anything, laugh with her, joke with her, and tell her how much you love her. Spend about half an hour, and then come to me for the rest of the day. He did that. Wallahi, it solved their problem. So sometimes you've got to deal with people in a smart way according to their personalities. You can't change a person, change your approach somehow, but without losing your connection, without losing your rights, at least your spouse's rights or something.